Hey everyone, I'm Jordan Banderas, the host of the Bad Influence podcast, and I thought I influenced you badly with today's episode. But before we get started, don't forget to smash the subscribe or follow button so you don't miss out on any episodes. So let's get started. Now, in a previous episode I did recently, I mentioned that I have PTSD and have dealt with some depression, anxiety, and anger issues, which comes with the diagnosis. And after sharing that, I received several emails thanking me for being brave enough as a man to admit that I have mental issues, which is hard for men to do because we don't want the stigma. We don't want to look as weak. So after receiving all of these emails, some people who emailed me actually said that they had been to therapy and were doing really good after they had gone. So I was very happy for them. We went back and forth and all of that. But one of the emails actually asked me if I had ever suffered from suicidal ideation before. Now, this question made me think long and hard because I didn't want to lie about the answer. So I thought about it for a while and I told the person who asked me that I did in fact previously have suicidal ideation. Now, this person asked me back, how did I deal with it? And my answer was that I dealt with it by remembering that good times will come at one point or another, and that I was literally surviving daily. But I also used my anger to keep holding on because I didn't want other people to talk shit about me, which happens a lot after people take their lives, in my opinion. I have seen it happening, it's messed up, and that's why I want to talk about this today, because after having this question asked, and finding the answer, I was scrolling through Facebook the other day and read about a friend's family member who had taken her own life recently, which obviously is hard for the whole family. I mean, can you imagine if that happens to you? Now, per what I read on the post, some family members are coming to their conclusion as to why she did it without really knowing the circumstances. Now, my friend also mentioned in his post that people are saying that she took the easy way out or that it was an irrational decision. And when I read this, I got really pissed off because this struck a nerve in me. So I sent him a message because he's a good friend. And I told him that my wife is dealing with severe depression, which has turned into multiple suicide attempts. And that's one thing I'm afraid of, is people making their own conclusions about why she would want to take her life. After I messaged him, my friend asked me what would I do if I were in his situation. So again, I had to think long and hard about this. But I told him that if my wife had ended her life during the worst part of her depression and someone would have said that she took the easy way out or made an irrational decision, I would have knocked them the fuck out without hesitation. There wouldn't be any answers or anything like that, or any questions asked or anything like that. I would just go like straight to them and knock them the fuck out. And my reasoning behind this is because the people who usually say shit like that don't know anything about the struggles of the other person. That's what I saw with my wife. And in my opinion, they are speaking out of turn, which can trigger an emotional reaction of some sort due to everything that's happening at that moment. If you think about it, like, can you imagine being distressed, dealing with somebody's suicide and everything, and somebody says that? You're gonna have an emotional reaction. It could be a sad moment where you start crying even more, or like in my case, I know myself, I will go into a rage. Now, many people will think that me knocking out others for saying that about someone that took their life is harsh. But the reason is that I would do that because they will be minimizing their pain, which is what people are doing to my friend's family member. And I feel like that's the worst thing that others can do. Not just to the grieving, but to the deceased as well. So I told my friend that after seeing my wife deal with all of the after effects and trying to understand why she got to that point, I realized that people who end up taking their lives don't see it as the easy way out or as an irrational decision. They see it as the only option they can take because they don't want to become a burden to others with their issues. And that is totally true. They don't see a way out of the hole they have fallen into. So minimizing their pain causes more pain than anything else because nobody takes that into consideration. And that's what pisses me off. Now, after talking to my friend about what he's going through, I honestly feel that people who don't know shit about how depression affects people differently shouldn't give their opinions when someone takes their life. I say this because it's not like someone wakes up today and says, I'm going to end my life today. No, that's not how it works. That's not how I saw it happen with my wife. I saw her mental health deteriorate for months. I tried to help her, but I didn't know what to do since I had never dealt with that before. So it was hard for the two of us. It was extremely hard. Like, there were days that I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I was gonna come to home from work and find her literally dead. Like, that happens when you're dealing in situations like this. And by minimizing someone else's pain, I feel like we won't be able to learn how to help others that are going through depression and are thinking about taking their lives. So if we try to understand other people's pain, we may be able to help those around us suffering from this terrible disease or this terrible illness and those who think of taking their lives. So I told my friend that the best piece of advice I can give him is that one way he could honor his family member is by keeping the happy memories alive. And to try to educate themselves as a family as to why this happens, so next time another person close to them is dealing with depression or have any symptoms, they might be able to identify a red flag and save a life. I'm sure his family member will be proud of that. And he agreed. Now, this is a very touchy subject for a lot of people, so that's why I wanted to share it, because especially now with the times and everything that's happening, there's been a lot of suicides happening. It's all over social media. Like, I see it all the time. I've been seeing a few lately where unfortunately people end up taking their lives. So that's why I wanted to talk about this, because we need to work together to help those in need when they're in that dark mental place. We need to stop minimizing their pain. We need to say, how can I help you? We need to pay attention to how they act. We need to make sure that they feel included and that they know that we listen to them, you know? And this is all that I have learned from dealing with my wife's depression, that it's hard. It is really hard. So that's pretty much what I wanted to share with you guys in today's episode. Leave your thoughts about this topic in the comments, and don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. We are on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and you can send me a DM on social media or email me at bjordanthebadinfluence@gmail.com. You can also give me some ideas on what topics you want to hear and things like that. And I'll leave you with this. People will try to face their darkest times alone, but you can be a guiding light for them. And have a great day.